Sell your Dogecoin. Boom shakalaka, what's going on everybody? Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's video, we're going to be talking about why and when, where, exactly what date, what time you should sell your Dogecoin and exactly why. Plus, if you stay tuned till the end, there is a very, very shocking thing that could happen to Dogecoin that's very scary for every single Dogecoin holder out there. Now, before we get started, guys, no, this is not a Dogecoin FUD video. I think what Dogecoin is doing right now is absolutely spectacular, but a couple things that I've mentioned. So previously, I have made a video when Dogecoin was just cents, like minimal cents, actually less than a cent, why you should buy Dogecoin, and you can see that video right up there. But also, I made a video back when Dogecoin was about half of the price that it was right now, saying why now is a great time to also buy Dogecoin right there. And this is the third video in the series. This is the warning video just for everybody buying into Dogecoin now. This is just a little warning video for you. But before we get into that, guys, make sure to come join us over on Twitter at the Crypto Love, where you can get a sweet shirt like this. And also, like, subscribe, click the notification bell. Now, the most common questions I've been getting recently are, when should I sell Dogecoin? And should I wait for a pullback before buying into Dogecoin? And I'm going to answer all of these questions coming up in a little bit. And it definitely all depends on what we see on this chart here. And also take heed of this little bullseye right there, because that's going to come up later and is pretty darn important. But a lot of what's going on with Dogecoin right now is due to Elon Musk's upcoming SNL appearance. It's fueling the Dogecoin rise. Dogecoin's up 40% in the last 24 hours, well up since the last time I made a video saying to buy Dogecoin. And with it reaching these heights, it hit 53 cents on Tuesday. Will it reach $1? $1 is the price target for a lot of Doge whales out there. Everybody wants it to reach $1. That is a very big even that could potentially be a selling point for people. Now, is $1 possible? Well, if we take a look at it, right now Dogecoin has a market cap of $87 billion, price of 67 cents. Now, it's right behind Binance Coin. If it surpasses Binance Coin at 100 billion, it would be 77 cents. If it surpasses ETH, which is the next big one, $3.08. How about overtaking Bitcoin? Because why stop at Binance Coin and ETH? Why not just go for Bitcoin? Well, we would have a $7.70 Dogecoin. However, maybe that's not the end. Maybe it's going to become the global dominant currency. Maybe Bitcoin is just a thing of the past. Dogecoin is the real coin. So let's have a $10 trillion market cap, making a $77 Dogecoin. Or why stop there? Let's say it either replaces M1 money or it just replaces all the money in negative interest bonds, one or the other. Both of them are around $18 trillion. That would be a $138 Dogecoin. Now, for a lot of people, they're like, heck yeah, Dogecoin to the moon. But I also want to say, be wary. Because in my last video, I was talking about buy all the Dogecoin you can until May 8th. There's a big reason for this. May 8th is the day to watch for Dogecoin because that's the day that Elon Musk is going to be on Saturday Night Live, where he's going to be talking about Dogecoin. And there's something called buy the rumor, sell the news. So the rumor, we all know the rumor, he's going to be talking about Dogecoin, it's going to pump. The news is whatever happens that day on Saturday Night Live. Now there's a chance that it could pump the price, but more likely I think what's going to happen is something along the lines of this. So we're going to see a price run up, and then right around the Saturday Night Live airing, the price will probably be around $1. And then from there, it's going to drop precipitously. Why precipitously? Because that's a really cool word. But what is my plan, my answer to the questions for all of you out there? We'll get to that because I want you to hang around for later in the video. Now, it could very well be that Dogecoin could be on the way to mass adoption. Maybe, I mean, who knows what the #1 cryptocurrency will be? Could be Bitcoin, could be Ethereum, could be Dogecoin for all we know. Because really, cryptocurrencies follow trends, follow attention. Whatever's most popular, the network effect goes up in price. Dogecoin right now, very popular, network effect going up in price. However, there is a very, very serious warning that all of you need to pay attention to, which I'm going to be talking about in a little bit. You see, one thing that we need to talk about is Dogecoin or Bitcoin having inflation. Now, we all know that Bitcoin is deflationary. There's a halving every 4 years. The amount of Bitcoin per block gets dropped. Dogecoin does not have that. There's actually a fixed supply of Dogecoin that's added every year, 5.256 billion coins per year that's added. So if we take a look at a chart of Dogecoin versus Bitcoin of inflation, we can see the halving of Bitcoin, halving, and right now we're right down around here. So it gets halved a couple more times, but we're under 2% inflation. Dogecoin right now over 4%, kind of similar to US dollars, except for this past year. But over time, just because there's going to be more stock to what's flowing in, the inflation goes down a little bit. Now, the other things people are talking about, potentially, is that Dogecoin hasn't been developed for years. Bitcoin constantly developed, ETH constantly developed, other things like that. However, I would say one thing that is of concern is what happened with Wall Street bets back on April 15th. So that brings me back to this chart here. All right, so I said pay attention to this bullseye here because that's an important date. So that date right there is the date that Wall Street bets started talking about cryptocurrencies. Now, they only did it for a couple days, but they only talked about 3 cryptocurrencies: Bitcoin, ETH, and Dogecoin. Now, Bitcoin and ETH both have very massive market caps. However, Dogecoin was a very small market cap at that time. As a matter of fact, on that date, Dogecoin was about 7 cents. Now it's already gone up to 70 cents. They 10x'd it that quickly. That's one of my speculative reasons as to what could be causing the run-up recently. A little bit Wall Street bets doing it. Now, what does that mean? Well, people want to know, should I wait for a pullback before buying in? I don't think we're going to see much of a pullback before we see a precipitous price crash, potentially back down to those levels or lower. Why? Well, market manipulation. Look at what Wall Street bets did with GameStop stock. Okay? Look at what potentially they did with Dogecoin. And there's a lot of other examples like that. But what could happen? So if you wanted to wait for a pullback, this 21-day moving average seems to be a very good spot where Dogecoin finds support. So you see support here, support kind of all along here. We have support down here. We have support. So as it's rising, it kind of bounces off the 21-day moving average. So if it's going to drop back down, you could buy the 21-day moving average, and you might have a good chance of getting a profit. However, more likely, price is just going up until one of two things happens. So we know Wall Street Bets knows how to manipulate markets. Well, turns out you can trade Dogecoin contracts with up to 50x leverage on Binance, up to 20x on some other exchanges. I've even seen things of how to trade it with up to 125x leverage. And leverage is something that people who don't really know how to trade use to hang themselves with. So what could potentially happen is we could have Dogecoin price soaring all the way up to the Saturday Night Live when it gets to that $1 price range, which I was telling you is a very important mental level. And then guess what? Everybody sells, and because they're selling, all those people who have the long leverage contracts that are up 50x, they get liquidated. They have to buy the price, and they have to basically sell it, and that causes the price to go even lower and even lower and even lower, even more quickly. So that's one dangerous thing that could potentially happen, which is why I am saying the sooner you sell, most likely the better. At the very least, sell at Saturday Night Live. Okay, maybe safer, sell that afternoon before. Maybe even safer, sell the day before. Maybe even safer, sell 2 days before. Now, you might not get all of the captured profits, but you also don't have the risk of the precipitous price drop-off. Now, it should be said, this isn't financial advice. This is just my speculation as to what could potentially happen. Because the other thing that could happen is a lot scarier. Okay? It's basically Dogecoin price goes from here to 0. That's a 0 immediately. Okay? How could that happen? Well, basically, if we take a look at the cost of a 51% attack, if we take a look for Bitcoin, it's almost $1 million an hour. Pretty expensive. Ethereum, $500,000 an hour. Pretty expensive. However, Litecoin, $30,000 an hour. Not only that, but if you 51% attack Litecoin, you also get Dogecoin along with it because Dogecoin doesn't secure their own blockchain. They leave that up to Litecoin. So you get 2 for 1, Dogecoin and Litecoin. And you're saying, but could that even happen? Well, if we take a look at the next 2 coins, Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV, those were 51% attacked. So if we take a look at that, Bitcoin Cash was 51% attacked back on May 25th of 2019. And if we go take a look at May 25th of 2019, Bitcoin Cash had a market cap of $7 billion. Now, if you guys don't remember, what is Dogecoin's? $87 billion. Over 10 times as much. Plus, you also get Litecoin along with that one, which is 22. So we're looking at somewhere along the lines of like $109 billion for 51% attacking that network. Now, could they do that? Possibly. As a matter of fact, there's this whole thread right here that I just kind of like to briefly read through with you. I know it's a little bit longer. If you don't want to listen to it, you can end the video now. But this is just something, a warning, to be known about, not a FUD video. I think that what could happen with Dogecoin is pretty darn exciting, but I also think that everybody should know the dangers of putting their money in an undeveloped cryptocurrency that's just getting massive FOMO right now. So this is from February 12th. He says, it's time to have a conversation about Dogecoin. If you're investing in Doge after Elon Musk's much endorsement, there's a couple of things that you should probably know. First, talk about network security. Unlike Bitcoin, ETH, and really any other major network, Dogecoin does not have its own miners. It currently relies on another network, Litecoin, to survive. How did this happen? Well, back in 2014, Dogecoin was in a tough spot. There weren't enough miners working on Doge, and there was a real risk that its network could be attacked. A network 51% attack would likely destroy Dogecoin, so its developers had to do something. Their solution was to adopt something called auxiliary proof of work, a way to merge Dogecoin mining with other similar networks. Put simply, AuxPOW enables miners to work on multiple chains at the same time and reuse the same work. Back then, it was a somewhat controversial solution. Some users were concerned that AuxPOW would put the future of Doge at the mercy of bigger miners. While the change likely saved Dogecoin, the concern was valid. 95% of Dogecoin's mining today is done by Litecoin miners. Now, this dependence carries some nasty security implications when Doge has a market cap of nearly $10 billion. That was $10 billion. Now we're looking at $87 billion, okay, nearing $100 billion. When AuxPOW was adopted, not a lot of value was being settled on Dogecoin, but in the month of January alone, Dogecoin settled the equivalent of over $8 billion USD. You see, the thing about AuxPOW is that it's a double-edged sword. While it protects both Litecoin and Dogecoin with the same work, it also makes it easier and considerably cheaper for an attacker to simultaneously take over both networks. Consider that the price of Doge is up 1,200% year-to-date, while hash rate, a proxy for network security, grew at a meek 15%. This ratio, coupled with the existence of AuxPOW, makes a 51% attack on Litecoin and by extension Doge incredibly attractive since it would carry a high ROI. So if we can see, the mean hash rate has not really kept up with the price. So how would this go down? This is basically how it would happen. Someone would buy a large quantities of Doge and Litecoin, they would deposit all of it in a major exchange, trade Doge and Litecoin for Bitcoin, withdraw the Bitcoin, and then issue a 51% attack on Litecoin that makes it so the deposit too never happened on either chain. It's unfortunate, but Doge and Litecoin have to endure a dangerous period until more miners join in and make this attack harder to pull off. Although it's now 136% more profitable to merge Litecoin and Doge, it'll take time for more miners to set up farms and bootstrap operations. So what can be done? The best thing is to increase transaction confirmations when receiving Litecoin and Doge. 20 confirmations is currently not enough. A full day is what he'd require. That puts $2 million USD cost floor on attacks. Does this only affect crypto exchanges? No. Exchanges are primary targets, but if you've received Litecoin Doge withdrawal transactions from an exchange who's subsequently targeted, your withdrawal might disappear after the attack takes place. So basically, because of the ability to target both Litecoin and Doge at the same time and have the price be so low right now and the reward so high, it potentially could be an attack vector. And if those blockchains are targeted and 51% attacked, what could happen is that people would lose a lot of belief in the blockchains, and then the price would drop, maybe not to zero, but price would go down significantly for both of them. So, because of that, it's worthwhile just to be cautious. You know, don't put your whole life savings in Doge just immediately. And if you do, the sooner you sell, the sooner you capture your profits, the better. So, that is all for today's video. Like I said, the answers to the 2 most common questions I've been getting: if you're waiting for a pullback, try and buy it on the 21-day moving average. And if you want to know when to sell, I would say sell at Saturday Night Live, if not sooner. Game theory. Don't be greedy. That's it. So thank you for watching. If you did enjoy that video, make sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and I'll catch you later. Peace.